Today we're going to talk about conscious versus subconscious and get in touch with the influence of the subconscious mind and how it's relevant in every moment in our lives and especially in our relationship.
So every one of us has a conscious and a subconscious mind. By definition, your subconscious mind is all of what you're not aware of, all the things that you don't know about yourself, that you don't know about your environment. And it's not a problem, right? Because the process of becoming aware of whatever it is that it is in your subconscious mind brings it up to the conscious mind for you to work through, right? For you to understand why it's been in your subconscious mind and how it's been influencing you in your life and how you can transcend it so that it no longer influences you.
The influence of the subconscious mind can be totally random. That said, many times the influence is not aligned with our conscious goals. And so the subconscious mind can have its own agenda. That means that we're being influenced by parts of ourselves that don't want the same thing as the conscious parts of ourselves. This can create tension among a lot of other things.
So when we have subconscious motivations, and those subconscious motivations that we're not aware of are not in alignment with the things that we want to manifest in our lives, this can create tension, resistance, and a process of being caught going forward with our intentions and being pulled backwards through the process of our subconscious motivations. So if we don't know that this is going on, it's still going to be affecting our results. So it's important to be willing to know that there are things in your subconscious mind, and that when you find yourself, for instance, procrastinating, or you find yourself getting less optimal results in your goals, in your intentions in life, that that process may be taking place.
Our subconscious mind has almost the same powers as our conscious mind, in that it can affect what we think, it can affect how we feel, and of course those two things affect the decisions that we make. And when the subconscious mind has its own agenda, it can actually generate, and does generate, feelings, thoughts, and emotions that would then lead us to making certain decisions that would achieve results that the subconscious mind feels safe with and wants, even though it might be the opposite of what your conscious mind wants, basically what you really want.
Well, fortunately, you don't have to stay a victim to this influence. You can transcend it.
And that's a process of gradually becoming aware and conscious of the content in your subconscious mind. It's very, very useful to do this because it allows you to release any motivations in your subconscious mind that are making you swim against the current in your own life, that are fighting your efforts. It's like taking a weight off that has been on your back or tied to your leg when you're swimming, and it allows you to start really using your energy efficiently and getting more return for the energy that you put in. All that said, this is a lifetime process. There's a lot in our subconscious mind, and it can take a lifetime to work through it.
So have you ever found yourself saying or doing something in your relationship that you regretted? Have you ever felt weird in a social context? Have you felt like maybe you were not being yourself? It wasn't like you to be the way that you were behaving. Did you ever say things that were hurtful to someone else, that walk away when really that was not your intention, felt like you just couldn't deal with what was going on, and then you shut down, you stopped talking, had random thoughts and desires that didn't seem to make sense, like you didn't understand why they were coming up? Well, the good news is that everyone has that. Everyone has those thoughts. Everyone has those moments. Everyone has those experiences that don't seem to make sense, and it's not a problem. This is basically mostly the result of unresolved subconscious influences that you can become aware of and eventually over time release.
There are things in your subconscious mind which you might not identify with at all. They might sound totally, quote unquote, crazy to you. Things which you never saw yourself as, never saw yourself having, that you never resonated with and don't right now one bit. Well, in a way, that's why it's unconscious. If you identified with it, if it made sense to you and stuff like that, well, that would be conscious. So the more you uncover in your subconscious mind, it's essential to understand that the more conscious you become. It's a benefit. Finding these things that seem like, oh my gosh, that's not me. Well, that's actually a positive experience. You're gaining a lot from realizing that there's parts of you subconsciously that you don't identify with, that aren't aligned with your goals, that are affecting your decisions. Because this empowers you. This empowers you to release those parts, make better decisions, and better use your energy, and be more loving, and get better results.
So whenever you have those opportunities to become conscious of your subconscious mind, when it comes up to the surface through those thoughts, those emotions, those situations that you can't seem to explain, it's important to resist the temptation to repress or suppress what you're going through, what you're feeling, what you're thinking, so that it doesn't basically stay in the subconscious mind, still affecting you, still influencing your decision-making process, so that you can use this opportunity, right, to become aware of it and to continue to work through it.
The subconscious mind is filled with things from society, childhood, movies, parents, friends, and even our ancestors. It absorbs tons of information, and it stores it all in there. And all that information is interacting with the information in our conscious mind, and it's influencing those decisions. The thoughts, emotions, and feelings in your subconscious mind don't represent you or mean anything at all bad about you. They're simply influences that are useful to become aware of and release so you can become more and more self-sovereign and get the results that you want.
So a big secret. You're not alone in this. You're not the only one who has a subconscious mind, and your partner and whoever you're interacting with on a daily basis also has a subconscious mind, and this subconscious mind has subconscious influences on their behavior, on their speech, on their decisions in life, and on their reality.
This is an opportunity. This is a tremendous opportunity. You don't have to go the rest of your life being driven by an invisible force that doesn't have the same idea for a great destination as you do, or as your conscious mind does, as your willful intention does. And while this is a process that over life you can become aware of, that doesn't mean that you're going to be stuck getting the same results for the rest of your life. As soon as you start becoming aware of the subconscious influence, you immediately start getting better results. And for the rest of your life, you can get better and better and better results and more return for the energy that you put into life.
So what does this mean? Becoming aware of the influence of your subconscious mind and starting to unravel it will give you extraordinary new personal power to bring great new things into your life. It's difficult to describe the potential that releasing negative subconscious influences can have on our lives, because believe it or not, our subconscious mind can actually and almost always does project all sorts of limitations in regards to the potential of change. These benefits are something we do our best to describe. That said, you'll really only know it for yourself once you experience it. They say the truth can't be described. It can only be pointed to. That's so true about so many of the personal growth experiences we're offering here. We do our best to describe them, and you'll only really know them once you apply your free will and courage to experience them.
When you do, you'll likely be very surprised about how much personal power you can have over things that you may have felt powerless over in the past. And what we're about to say is very empowering, and at the same time, it can be very triggering to our subconscious mind. And here it is. In our work with ourselves and clients, we found that things don't happen to us as much as they happen in us, meaning that influences from our subconscious mind are often actually steering us towards things in life that we don't want. And well, when we become aware of and release this influence, we can achieve things we may have been trying to achieve for decades, and other things that we never even thought that we could achieve.
So what are some of the benefits that we've seen with our clients? Well, by becoming aware of and releasing subconscious influences, we've personally helped ourselves and our clients clear internal resistance and finally achieve things like attract an ideal partner, enhance their existing relationship, resolve relationship conflict, improve difficult family dynamics, heal from the loss of a lost loved one, lose weight, become more fit, and more.
Better manage and recover non-medically from conditions like binge eating, addiction, anger, loneliness, boredom, OCD, ADD, depression, fatigue, insomnia, panic attacks, anxiety, stress, memory loss, tremors, intrusive thoughts, suicidal thoughts, sexual disorders, performance anxiety of all kinds, speech impediments, and other unwanted physical, mental, and emotional conditions. We've also helped them transcend their fear, insecurities, and limiting beliefs, increase their self-esteem and sense of self-worth, find more meaning and fulfillment in their lives, develop more conscious intention and discipline, learn more about themselves, and discover who they are.
We've also helped clients attain more inner peace, higher spiritual consciousness, and a deeper understanding of themselves and their relationships, so that ultimately they could achieve their personal goals with significant improvements in all key aspects of their lives, including relationships, health, career, family, and spirituality.
Truly, clearing and releasing subconscious influences that are not aligned with our conscious goals can have profound, immediate, permanent, and comprehensive positive benefits to whatever and however many aspects of our lives we apply this holistic approach to.
Here's a real life example. So we had a client who was struggling in their relationship because they were feeling jealousy and they had difficulty trusting their partner. We helped this client get in touch with a subconscious part of themselves that was projecting their experience of abandonment by a prior partner onto their current partner, as well as a belief that said, if they leave me, I'll be nothing. Once the client got in touch with these parts and released them, this dynamic in the relationship completely dissolved, and their relationship and trust improved dramatically. This positive change in their relationship had a positive influence on their parenting process, their children, their work lives, and recreation time, as they became able to get along better, work together as a team, and communicate and trust each other on a completely new level.
As a side note, it's important to note this because all of us have this when it comes to change. Before experiencing this positive change, this client believed that nothing could change. The relationship couldn't work and that it would never get better. How often have you maybe felt that about something? Well, this is a great example of how we subconsciously and consciously project limitations onto our lives that end up actually limiting our capacity to change. If we get stuck in this belief that nothing could change, that the relationship can't work, well, what do you think is ultimately going to happen? That said, fortunately, as this client learned about these new subconscious parts, literally what she thought was possible, that circle of what was possible for her, increased, it expanded, and she was actually able to achieve these things that she thought were impossible in her life.
Here's another example. We worked with a child who was having very negative thoughts about hurting themselves with brutal imagery. They felt like they couldn't control these thoughts, like they were bad and wrong, and didn't understand where those thoughts were coming from. The child asked a teacher for help, which led to even bigger problems at school. The school became worried about liability and intervened in a very unhelpful and fearful manner. The parents tried multiple psychiatrists and medication with little success. When this child came to us, we helped them understand these thoughts, what subconscious fears and beliefs were driving them, and gave them tools to release these subconscious elements. After 2 sessions, the child recovered fully and was able to return to school and enjoy it without incident.
Here's another real-world example of someone clearing subconscious blockages in order to achieve something that they were having a lot of difficulty achieving. We worked with a woman who was in her 30s and was having a hard time finding a long-term relationship. She was frequently in and out of relationships. When she started working with us, she found subconscious parts that felt unworthy of the relationship she really wanted. She also found beliefs in her subconscious that she was selfish for wanting what she wanted. As a result, she would frequently just do whatever her partners wanted without honoring herself. And she attracted men that were self-centered and who would blame her when she wouldn't do exactly what they wanted her to do. When she released the subconscious parts of herself that felt unworthy and selfish, she was able to gain clarity about precisely the type of person she wanted to be with. This clarity in releasing subconscious blockages allowed her to manifest a conscious and loving relationship with her ideal partner. Another real-world example, we worked with a man who was having difficulty with ADHD, stress, and anxiety. He had difficulty focusing when others were speaking, and this created issues at work and in his relationship with his wife, who felt like, man, if you're not listening to me, then you must not care about me, or you must not love me. Well, we helped him identify a subconscious pattern that basically said, I am not safe in my life, and I have to fix this. And sometimes this referred to his income, other times it referred to his relationship. Well, when we helped him identify and release this pattern, he became able to focus, listen intently, and his stress and anxiety greatly reduced. His sleep improved, his performance at work improved, and his relationship improved.
Another real-life example. We worked with a woman who wanted to lose weight and was having trouble getting the results that she wanted. She was working very hard, exercising and dieting. That said, she would go to extremes for a month or two, exercising and dieting a lot, only to go back to old habits, as well as binge eating the next month. This was not only putting the weight back on, it was dangerous to her health and negatively affecting her self-confidence, her thoughts, and her emotional process. We helped her discover subconscious parts of herself that didn't feel good enough. We also helped her discover that her emotional binge eating was related to her relationship with her husband, and that she was subconsciously rejecting herself based on her self-image. This made losing weight very stressful and high pressure. The stress and high pressure actually trigger her desire to eat more. Once she released these subconscious blockages, she lost the weight, healed the relationship, and greatly improved her self-esteem and her relationship to food.
So as you can see, releasing just one negative subconscious influence can have extraordinary effects on many problems, which we often medicate, and which can also help us achieve many new goals and can have wide-ranging benefits on all aspects of our lives. Additionally, it can give us self-sovereignty and self-empowerment to non-medically heal, resolve, and achieve things on our own.